Okay, well, Putin is threatening to use create a nuclear war if anybody interferes with him taking over Ukraine. So let's look at that. What about Putin's threats of nuclear war? Okay. So we have a 6 of coins. Now, of course, this is his buy-off, what he's wanting to get to overturn. So we know that this is in the negative, not the positive. I never throw the cards in a negative, but if I could find, let me see. What about his? Yeah, of course it's in the negative with this. You can see it's in the negative. So he's not looking for charity to help. He's looking in avarice and greed. He wants to take what he can take. Of course, we have with him the past. It's about the past, and I want Russia, and I want it to be, like it was. Of course, he's being driven by that same megalomaniac craziness that what's around belongs to Russia. Okay. So in the center of it, we have the false knight. The false knight and spiritual cleansing. Okay. He needs to have a spiritual cleansing. Now, when I see spiritual cleansing in this thing, it's just him wanting to, the challenge is to clear the board, to bring something better forward, because he's just absolutely not wanting to back off at all. Advice is looking at going forward. What do we have going forward? These cards are new and I'm kind of having a little difficult time with pulling them. Is juggling what he's going to do. Okay, looking at what he's going to do with his threats. We have underneath of it all an abundance, overflowing of emotion with him, money news, and also that can have just to do with what's going on in the world, and balance and fairness, justice. In his thing, he just wants to overturn it. But his threats of nuclear thing that he's going to use nuclear weapons. Well, if he decides to use nuclear weapons, guess what? The rest of the world would use nuclear weapons. And if it came to that point, unfortunately for him, there are a lot of the NATO that I think also would have more nuclear weapons. And who all is he going to focus them on? How many places at once? If NATO bands together, to go against him, he's one country and NATO is made up of many countries. So his threats are his threats. And you know, he's crafty enough to understand that he's one country, okay? NATO is many countries. And then we have a nuclear armament information about that. You know, when it comes to something like this, they would look very deeply at it, you know. I'm not going to invade. They are, you know, he's just, he's a liar, okay? And his threats are what? They're threats, okay? That's all. I'm showing you my nuclear. I'm showing you my missiles. I'm showing you what I've got, okay? Okay. So you've got those. But, you know, he's not the only country with nuclear weapons, okay? And not everybody is frightened off by his bully tactics, okay? So when it comes to him, you know, I'm going to pull some other cards, and I'm going to look at him a little deeper with this. What about Putin and his threats of nuclear war? What about Putin and his threats of nuclear war? Let's look at this. Putin and his threats of nuclear war. First thing we have out is about his past, as usual. The past is, you know, this is his thing. He wants Russia to be back like it was. That's his whole focus. Every time I do a read, that's it. He wants this to be his legacy. Okay, the challenge is, for this, is the balancing. He's juggling this stuff in the world. He's saying, you know, I'll use nuclear. Okay, if you try to stop me, anybody tries to stop me taking over Ukraine, you just wait and see what I will do. I have nuclear power. And you don't even want, you know, he's, as usual, the big bully tactics. Okay, conscious thoughts. He's not happy. Okay, he's an angry, unhappy person. Okay. Angry, unhappy. How dare you say I can't take over Ukraine? How dare anybody tell me anything? Okay, the way he sees himself, he's alone, but he's going to do what he wants to do. Okay, he's alone. He's not getting support from a lot of places for this, but he'll do it anyway. Okay, subconscious thoughts, and in the center of it, yeah, not a surprise. He doesn't care. He's going to do whatever it takes, is what he's saying. Energy surrounding it. This is his wish, his desire, his dark desires. Okay, above it we have King of Cups. Usually that's my card for Biden. And under it, we have the swords, okay? So he knows usually Biden is for peace, but we also have the swords. You know, America is not a weak place, okay? So he's trying to balance this, and he's trying to put out this threat. But, you know, while Biden wants to go to things amicably, there is also that, He's looking at the sword. He's looking at what Putin's putting out and how he wants to go about things, okay? In the past, we have the love card. Now we know that Putin tried to get a hold of Xi to aid him and stuff, but Xi is not buying into it, okay? He's not buying into it. Okay, with that, we have the swords. Ruin, okay? There's nobody there that's going to aid him with this. Nobody there that's going to take his side. Short term, it's going to come to an end. We have the end and a new beginning. The end of the chapter. Outcome is getting hung up. So as much as he is crowing about he's going to use nuclear armament, and as unhappy as he is, because I took the first 4 and look at one segment, and then you look at what's going on in the middle of it, he's driven by his desires, okay, and his emotion. And his emotion now, and just this thing just this thing with Biden and everything, that now he's going to show his strength, and I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and nobody's going to stop me. Well, going into it, we have his past and juggling this stuff and his unhappiness, and he wants to leave his legacy, but he's alone in this. He's really alone in this. The Russian people, for the most part, don't want this war. They don't want anything to do with it. So he's cutting his own throat. Now, when he tried to get others involved in it, we have the other side, we have the love, but swords in the back. It was like, no, not going to help you. We're not jumping on that train. We're not buying a ticket to your madness, okay? So in the end, it's going to come to an end point and get hung up, okay? So he's putting his bully tactics out there that he's going to use nuclear armaments and nobody better stop him, and he's this and he's that. Another Trump, okay? Another 45, okay? But if he goes with that, with the nuclear, somebody is going to do him in, okay? That will be the end of him. That would be the end of him. So people are not happy that he's threatening to use nuclear. That's a bridge too far. They're not happy to begin with, for the most part, with him, what he's doing with Ukraine. But this nuclear threat that he's putting out there, they are really not happy with it, okay? So, yeah. It's not going to happen. He's got his big threats. But if he does nuclear, there are other countries that have nuclear too, and they would take him out. It's like, we're not playing that, okay? So I'm going to leave this here. Love and light. See you online.